Damn, people are going to miss your Overwatch reference off the top, Mike. Remember when this used to be like the #1 Overwatch podcast on the internet? You remember that?
Remember when Overwatch used to be the #1 video game?
We were both riding highs. You know what I mean? There was the #1 Overwatch podcast. There was the #1 Overwatch video game. Then, Paladins came out and fucking ruined everything for them. Actually, I think Paladins came out first. Did it? I don't even know, actually.
I think it did.
Did it, though? Because weren't a lot of the characters the
same?
Oh,
no, it didn't. No. Because remember the donkey video? I got to go back and watch that video, too.
Yeah.
That donkey. And then there's Moltar or whatever. He's a turtle.
He's a turtle. Such a good video. Shout out to Donkey, friend of the show. Donkey, you want to come on and talk about Paladins? Feel free.
Wait, did you watch his most recent video? It's
No.
like at PAX. I was waiting to see if he had you in there, it was showing random people.
It's from PAX East.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about the video games that he's
Animal Well.
Yeah, Animal Well, and he mentioned the booth they had at PAX, and they showed
footage,
some pictures of people that.
Just pictures. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it at some point. Anyways, we got a rare. If you're watching this video or listening to this show, I guess if you're listening to the show, that's how you listen to the show. But if you're watching this video right now, that means that you are watching this after the fact. This is a rare. We're recording this offline because of what we're going to be talking about, but we'll get to that soon. Welcome, everyone, to the Pass the Controller podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we talk about... I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what we talked about.
Did we talk about anything? Overwatch.
Sometimes we don't talk about Overwatch anymore.
We talk about Overwatch too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Sunday evening, riding out the week, even though it's technically the start of a new week. But, I mean, who really looks at Sunday as the start of the week? Like, does anyone here do that?
It doesn't really...
It's a depressing day in general, though.
Yeah, it is pretty depressing.
Yeah. But, it's weird that it's technically the first day of the week, because I will always think of Sunday as the end of the weekend. So it's the end of the week. It's the weekend.
We should go.
You know what I mean?
It should be Saturday, Sunday, Monday off, and then we work Tuesday to Friday, and that's it.
Hey, I love that idea.
Hey, look, we're all clamoring for the 4-day work week, and I don't know, society just isn't ready for it.
We live in a society. So yeah, joining us tonight, of course, is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Lizier. Mike, how are you tonight?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, that's fair. Also joining us, of course, is the Armored Core guy, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm here.
I've just fucking given up. I can't even think of anything for Todd anymore. He doesn't have a defining thing now. He's ping ponging around.
I will say this: the multiplayer thing that I'm sticking to right now is Rainbow Six. I play 1 or 2 ranked matches a night, and I'm enjoying it.
Where's my invite? What the fuck?
Joe, just say when. I'll jump on whenever you want. You get free time.
I didn't know this was a thing. And then rounding us out, of course, is the Disney daddy himself, the fucking Lorcana Lord, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight? I have a little bag now for you at my house. I got a little bundle bag. It's got your Lorcana shit in there. It's got your cups in there. Who knows what else will find its way into that bag before you get it.
I need to start separating everything that's going out to other people. I have stuff for you still. I think I have stuff for Mike.
You have stuff for me?
Yeah, there's at least Amiibo over there.
Oh yeah, you do have an Amiibo. The Bokoblin?
I have Bokoblin, and I think I have... I don't know. I need to look again. I feel like I have another one at least.
Maybe. Anyways, we got a great show for you tonight. But before we get into that, a couple of quick housekeeping things. Potentially going to be delayed on the movie episode because we probably should have done the movie episode tonight because I'm not going to be here next weekend. And I'm just going to assume we're probably not going to record the movie episode middle of the week. Maybe we will, so I don't know. But there will probably be either a small gap or a special episode in between now and the movie episode. So if you were really looking forward to us talking about La La Land at the end of August, you're going to have to wait probably an additional week or at least a few days after the turn of September. So I apologize for not planning that properly. That's on me. Which also means I was going to potentially reveal my movie pick tonight to give people still that same window of time, but Nah, we're gonna wait. We're just gonna wait.
Do you want me to give you my final movie pick because I'm sticking to it and I'm not budging?
I like locking you in. So what's Todd's November pick?
No, I'm not. Do you want me to pick? I'll pick it right now if you want.
Know? If you know, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's John Carpenter's 1988's They Live. That's what we're doing. I'm going
bold choice. All right.
I was hoping you were going to say John Carter from Mars.
I thought you were going to say John Carpenter's Thing.
Yeah, just lock that in though because I kind of.
I wrote on the list. You can still change it when we get there. So don't. If Todd really does change it, don't hold him to that. The November movie pick right now is supposedly John Carpenter's.
Is there any movie? No, They Live.
I said They Live.
Oh, if I said but They Will Live. You said
no. They Live.
They Live.
Yeah.
From John
Carpenter. I don't think there's any other
Mm-hmm.
movies coming out at
Yeah,
I
have no idea. So for the rest of the year, it's going to roll out. I am going to be September pick. Dom has October, lucky bastard. Todd is in November, and I feel like this is what we've done the last few years. So we can keep doing it, or we can let it ride. But I feel like December we've been doing like a special pick, and then pushing so that like Mike's pick would be January and not December.
We did Matrix last year.
We did Matrix last year, so I'm wondering if we should keep doing that for two reasons. One, just because lighten it up. It's holiday, whatever, change it. But also, if we don't do that, then going forward, it's going to just be we always have the same months, which I'm fine with, but that just means like Dom always has October, et cetera, which, again, doesn't matter to me. But if we do the December skip, it'll then push the pick. It'll push everyone a month every year. So it's up to you guys. We don't have to decide it right now, but something to consider if we want to do that. I mean, we can also work out some other, like we can do a January skip or something to push things forward or whatever it may be. Or we can just do actually this might be funner. We could do in January like a fucking shuffle. We'll just like put the four of our names in a fucking hat and then pick the order again. So it's a new order each year. That actually might work better. What do you want, Mike? Do you want December pick, or do you want to keep your December pick and then we do a reroll in January, or do you want to bump a month?
How about we sit on this for like 2 months?
Yeah, we do have plenty of time. We have until the end of November to figure it out.
Wait, is Christmas soon?
It will be. It's basically Halloween already. In Salem, it's already Halloween. It's fucking busy. Anyway, so yeah, we'll figure that out as we get closer. But yeah, we'll talk about La La Land in about a week and a half-ish. And I will also drop my movie pick there as well. So there's that. So before we get into it, this will be what we do after we talk about some other stuff. Part of the reason why this episode is recorded off air is because I'm going to be reviewing Sea of Stars. Up front, I will tell you that if you're listening to this because you want to hear us talk about Sea of Stars, it's going to be spoiler free. So you can listen to this knowing, hey, it's not going to be anything like character or story related is going to be, that I mentioned, will be from the very early, few hour max of the game. So you don't have to worry about any story beat spoilers or, other potential twists or turns or anything like that in this episode. But fear not. If you do finish that game and you want a deeper dive, shortly after this goes live, there will be a spoiler cast. I don't know if it will also come out the same week as this episode coming out, but it will not be much longer after if it doesn't. So you can look forward to that. Already got locked in some guests to be on that, so we have that all kind of worked out in the background. So there will be a spoiler cast as well if you finish the game and want that stuff. In addition to that, some stuff that's already available. And, well, I guess by the time that you can listen to or watch this, it will all be available. There is a Sea of Stars inspired cocktail video that's up on our YouTube channel. The written review, which will also be rather spoiler free, will also be available by the time you're able to listen to this episode. So that will also be available at passthecontroller.io. And I think that's it. There might be some other video content that's up on our YouTube channel. The first hour of gameplay, which is just straight up me playing the first hour of the game. So, if you don't want anything about the game spoiled for you, don't watch that, I guess. But if you are curious about Sea of Stars and you want to see some of it in action, that will also be available by the time shortly after this is live, because that's going to be a day later, I think, or like an hour, couple hour gap, half a day or so. Anyways, so that stuff will be up there. But we'll get to Sea of Stars in just a moment. This episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore, Massachusetts, on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, something sweet, something tasty, something fresh out of the oven, you can, of course, head down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. If you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty or go to goodnightfatty.com and educate yourself on these tasty, tasty treats. Before we get into Sea of Stars stuff, what do you guys got going on? What have you been playing?
Nothing.
I mean, that's a lie, Mike. That's a fucking bold-faced lie. You know it. I know it. Dom knows it. Todd might not know it. But at least 3 of the 4 here know that. New season of Fortnite, Mike. How are you feeling about new season of Fortnite?
Oh, I forgot. Is that worth talking about?
I mean,
Like the rocket ram?
They've made some substantial changes.
Rocket Ram is there. It's true. And the suitcase thingy.
Is it worth talking about? Mike's put in at least already 6 hours into the season.
What game?
Yeah.
Fortnite. Have you not played the new season yet, Todd?
I'm not like in a rush to play it because I really don't give a shit about the skins again. So like I'll play it obviously when you guys play it, but I'm not like I don't really care about anything in it.
Are you just a Fortnite guy for the skins? That's all you care about?
I don't know. I feel like the map's kind of boring to me right now. The only cool thing I like are those like missiles that shoot you into the air and like you can. But like I feel like that it just hasn't changed enough for me. I guess.
Have you seen the map changes?
I played a little bit like the other night. I can't remember what.
Did
like,
you land at any of the strongholds?
Where the fuck did I land?
I feel
Is
like
there
you
like a
know
new
if you
loot
land.
lake? Like there's like isn't there like a loot lake now kind of? Like
I
or
don't
am
know.
I
Dom
mistaken?
would know better than me. I don't know what you're talking about. Dom,
There's the loot lake. There's the loot lake that happens from the portal, like it did last season.
Yeah, so I don't even know. I feel like I probably didn't land in those spots, but I probably landed in that tree area again, you know.
Yeah, there's
Todd
like
loves those
there's
trees.
three there's three
trees. Am I right, boys?
there's 3 fortress areas that you can like go in, and there's like a mini boss to like raid the vaults.
Yeah, and there's like
You can get mythic weapons from.
Yeah, there's like a heist area where you have to steal weapons and stuff. I don't know. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a reimagining of like a previous season where they did similar stuff that I enjoyed. I think it's a good loot pool right now. Like some of the guns in there are ridiculous. I can't imagine them staying in the season the whole time. Like there was one match where I think Dom had the ray gun from the Alien season. I had
The gun's so good.
Midas's golden drum gun. Yeah, those briefcase turrets are fantastic. Like there's so many cool weapons right now. Like Mike had mentioned, there's the or Dom mentioned the rocket ram. Is that what it's called, rocket ram?
I think so.
That's like a cool. I mean, obviously you can use it to do a lot of things, but it's like a cool traversal item. Did you see the video of people using that on a car while they're in the car and shooting themselves across the map? It's ridiculous. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Please don't take it out of the game. If you want to make it so it doesn't fucking shoot vehicles across the map, fine, but it's so good. Keep that shit there. I'm really enjoying it.
There was another rocket ram thing that got patched that if you hit the airstream, if you like went up and came down at the airstream, you would just be riding the rocket, and you could literally just stay in the air on the rocket and just like fly wherever you wanted.
Can you still do that? That's pretty cool.
No, they patched it out.
They patched it out. What are your overall? Because you've put a good amount of hours already into this new season. How are you feeling about this new season?
The loot pool is good. I do like the rocket ram for like traversal reasons. I mean, we've also had matches where we've literally just absolutely destroyed things with the rocket rams.
Yeah,
like gotten to an area and just gone back and forth, like
Right.
just breaking everything.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's actually like a really good item for people who want to play build mode but are not good at building, because like that would just like mess up
everything.
People's shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have high hopes for this season. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
I feel like
they're hitting big user numbers again.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that data can be skewed. So
I feel like all these battle pass skins are just blending together at this point, though. Like the last 3 seasons, like the skins, like do you guys like the skins that they have in the battle pass?
Yeah, I like probably at least
there's
3
a couple
of them.
good ones.
Yeah,
there's a couple good ones.
like Fish Stick is so good. There's a couple of Fortnite originals in there that I like. Like I'm looking forward to unlocking. Probably better than the originals from last season, in my opinion. I like that they keep doing cell shaded characters like each season now. I think those are dope each time. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a pretty strong season. I'm curious to see. There's alleged rumors of like Todoroki. Todoroki coming from My Hero. I'm assuming there would be other My Heroes. Like maybe there would also be his dad, because they're not going to just add one character, I would imagine.
I imagine they would do a 4-pack, but I don't know what 4 they would do.
Who are you thinking they would do, Mike? So we have class whatever they are in
1A, yeah,
1A, and then All Might. We don't have anyone else, right? It's just those 4.
Just those 4.
So who would if they're different, they're different. You tell me, but who would you think the next 4 would be, and who do you want the next 4 to be? And if they're the same, they're the same.
I don't think I have any real. I don't think I care about who they add. I would expect. I think I had this conversation with Dom before. I would expect a Racerhead, and then I don't know if they would fill it out with villains or just more of the hero characters. So if they do villains, maybe Shigaraki, maybe Toga. If they do, I said villains just now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If they do heroes, I don't know if there's anyone that I really care about. I guess they could put Endeavor if they felt like it. And then maybe.
I mean, I feel like if they didn't put Endeavor, they would probably put another one of like the older heroes, like a high ranking, like not student hero.
Yeah, but that's why I said Eraserhead.
Oh yeah, Eraserhead. But he's a teacher too, like the ones that like I don't know if they would ever put in like, Lady Mountain or whatever. Is that her name?
Mountain Lady.
Mountain Lady. Like I don't know if they would ever put in like someone like that. Who's the like Archangel or whatever.
I know you're talking about Hawks, but it's weird that you were like Archangel. You went with a different superhero with a longer name.
I mean, listen, there's plenty of Marvel skins. Blame Marvel. Blame Disney. Blame Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I could see when they added the second wave of Naruto, they added only one villain, right? They only added Snake.
Orochimaru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was Gaara, Orochimaru. They just had 2.
Itachi.
Oh no,
Itachi and Hinata.
So maybe they'll split it. Maybe they'll go 2-2.
Maybe.
I mean, they don't have to. There's nothing,
Yeah, they don't.
bounding them.
I mean, Dragon Ball. In fairness to Dragon Ball, as a comparison, they added Goku Black separately. Like he wasn't part of a pack or anything. He was just there. It was very odd.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
So yeah.
With the theme seemingly being like heists and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you have like characters from something you'd want to see come in with that theme as like the overall like overarching thing?
Tom Cruise.
Give me
not his
Daniel
characters,
Craig.
just Tom Cruise.
Just Tom
Cruise.
I just want Tom Cruise.
Give me Daniel Craig's Bond.
No, just Daniel Craig.
Just Daniel Craig.
Is Bond
just give us an
Bond
actor's
considered
pack.
like heist?
No,
I guess
but
spy.
I mean,
Spy is probably
yeah.
like, kind of tied into that though.
Yeah.
What other like notable spies? Is there a Bond movie coming out anytime soon?
No.
They don't have a new Bond yet.
Oh, they're there no more Daniel Craig movies coming?
No.
Have they haven't even cast a new Bond, right?
No.
I don't believe so.
Are there rumors? Are there rumors of someone?
There's always rumors.
Who's the current
Idris
rumor?
Elba is always a rumor.
He's too old, but I wish it was Idris Elba because I think he would have been.
I mean, he's going to continue to be a rumor until he like flat out says like I'm not doing that. Leave me alone.
I don't know. There's such a high bar for Bond films after the last couple. It's going to be tough regardless of who takes it. I hear Henry Cavill a lot too, but he can carry a movie.
Wow, that's hurtful.
Well, I mean, he doesn't. He's out of DC, right? So he don't got any. And he's not the Witcher anymore. So he could sign on to be something.
Got some free time.
He gave up The Witcher to do Superman.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
And then they took Superman away from him.
That's a little.
But he was pissed about The Witcher because they kept on like not following source material, and he was like not happy with the direction and the writers and everything. So like,
when you say source material, are you talking about the book or the game? Because I don't think
the books.
Okay, yeah, because I don't think the game follows the book.
He's a huge Witcher fan, like in general of the books and the games, and like he wasn't happy with they're just like departing from everything that he thought made The Witcher good.
I don't want to speak out of element here because I don't actually know, but I'm pretty sure is The Witcher books is not mythology, but it's like
no, they're heist movies, heist books. Sorry.
Yep.
Are they stories or they're not aren't they not myths? Fucking what is the right term that I'm looking for here?
You're the English major. You tell us.
Are you looking for the word folklore?
Yes. Thank you. Dumb. Finally.
I don't think they're folklore.
No.
Oh, I thought they were. I don't know. Taylor Swift.
I think they're novels written by a guy.
I didn't know that. I for some reason assumed they were, or maybe just the term Witcher, a Witcher is folklore, but then there's the Witcher, which is written by somebody.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I think so. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Fortnite's pretty good. What about you, Todd? What have you been playing besides the normal stuff? How's Armored Core treating you off the bat?
It's awesome. I'm at the hard stop that pretty much everyone's talking about on Twitter right now. The first boss of the first act. But I got him halfway down, and I'm just going back, rebuilding my shit and redoing missions and getting more money. But I'm loving it. So it feels great.
Are you?
The combat feels up.
You were hesitant to get it because you thought it was gonna be too difficult. You feel like it's too difficult?
Not yet. Although, I mean, like I said, I just got to this boss, but I barely put any effort into him. Yeah. But he seems like he's going to be a bitch. He's going to be it's going to take me a while to get through this or to figure out. I'm trying to make my fucking mech into a giant tank right now. So it's I'm just going back and doing all old missions, trying to do them with S ranks, and then just trying to get more money. But the overall gameplay loop though is so good. It's really, really good. So I'm definitely glad I bought it. I think you'd definitely like it.
Yeah, I'll get to it at some point. I was obviously buckled down with Sea of Stars the last 2 weeks, and then was kind of holding off because I wasn't sure if we were going to get anything else in between that. But now that I'm fully done with Sea of Stars, I think between Starfield and Armored Core, those will probably be my next 2 bites for September before the October games start hitting, because there's a few October goodies that I'm looking forward to. I guess that's a perfect segue to just jump into Sea of Stars.
I beat Alan Wake.
Oh, what did you think of finishing it?
And I started going through Miles again, so I'm more than halfway through Miles.
Wait,
which apparently is a very short game. No.
Oh, did you never play it?
I never beat it.
Okay.
I never beat it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I want to say, from what I understand, Miles was a pretty short, especially.
I feel like a lot of people complain about the story of Miles and say I enjoy the Miles story better. I don't know. Maybe I'm curious what Dom's going to think about it though.
It's it'll be tough. I'll have to watch videos from the beginning of the game because I started replaying after playing Alan Wake, and I was I can't the controls in this game are completely different than the controls in Alan Wake.
Yeah, right. That new Alan Wake looks incredible. I keep on seeing stuff, and that comes out pretty soon too.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I also kind of want to.
Alan Wake is not a game for Brennan.
The first one?
You don't think so? I don't think it's scary. Did you find it scary or?
I didn't find it scary, but I think that Brennan will.
Well, I've played parts of the original Alan Wake on the 360, and I have a copy of the remake on Xbox, so I might play it just because it's relevant and you just played it and people are going to be talking about it with the second one. But from what I gather from the second one seems like it leans way more into horror, so I probably won't play the second game.
I mean, the plot of the first game is that he's like in a horror story.
He's basically Stephen King.
Yeah.
Like, right.
But I'm at this weird crossroads because, you know, we're a big Remedy podcast. I mean, Mike's favorite game of all time is Control. Go ahead.
Has Mike played Alan Wake?
I feel like he has probably. Did you finish it, Mike?
Yes, I played it years ago. I don't know. I played it on the 360.
Okay, so because like the early things I've heard about this new Alan Wake is like, and I keep on hearing this about every Remedy game, is like they took everything from their last game and just made it better.
Listen,
in Alan Wake 2.
I'm gonna go to bat again for Quantum Break. We're just, you know, we're a big Remedy podcast.
I don't like what Remedy did with fucking the next gen upgrades for fucking Control, because you had to like if you bought the game and then you got your new console, which was like a few months after, you had to pay like $40 to get like the next gen copy, which is such bullshit.
I mean, yeah, that's. We're not a money podcast. I mean, what is this?
Money.
But yeah, I because I like a lot of these Remedy games, and they're all in the same universe in some way. I kind of don't want to like miss the Alan Wake part, but we'll see. I don't know. If I do play Alan Wake 2, I don't think it'll be right away. So maybe I can convince Mike to buy it and play it and stream it, so that way I can just watch Mike play it, and then I get my fix that way.
Absolutely not.
All right, well, whatever. So, Sea of Stars. We're on the precipice of this game coming out. Do any of you have an interest in playing it?
I have it downloaded.
Probably.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to play it till like after the new year, just because
Holy smokes!
I mean, Cyberpunk's going to probably take a month of my life. I feel like that's going to be exactly what happened last time Cyberpunk came out, and I'm just going to fucking play Cyberpunk for a month straight. And then Starfield, I feel like that's going to be, if that clicks with me, I feel like that's going to be another thing that's going to overtake my game. Then.
Sea of Stars comes out on the 29th. It's on Game Pass. It's on PlayStation Plus, whatever. It's on one of the PlayStation tiers. It's available on those two and Switch and PC to buy. You got like a week. Let me get longer if you don't pay the extra money for Starfield. You got a week at least to beat it before Starfield. There you go. Just download it on Game Pass. There you go.
And Mortal Kombat 1 comes out too, and I know I'm going to dive heavy into that.
I don't think you're going to do that, but okay. Whatever you, you
100%.
tell yourself whatever you're going
to. Dude, that Mortal Kombat, have you seen like the game that looks like?
I don't really care for Mortal Kombat, to be honest, but I don't see you like playing a fighting game regularly.
I already deleted Street Fighter off my hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. You're.
I actually play Mortal Kombat. I think I always play Kombat.
He deleted it to make room for.
I did actually. No, I deleted it to make room, but fucking, I'm running out of space on that thing.
Yeah, have fun. You're gonna have no space for Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield. I'm gonna have to delete. I'm finally gonna have to delete Red Dead.
But like I said, Sea of Stars is coming out on virtually everything in a couple of days. Well, from you hearing this out there, it'll be the day after, you'll be able to play it in a day after you listen to it, watch this, or if you listen to it or watch it later, it's already out. But
we should just give a date rather than put it in
29th. It's coming on the 29th. This podcast will come out on the 28th. So there you go. If you listen to this right away, you get a day. If you listen to it later, it's already out. As I mentioned at the beginning, spoiler free. So you can rest at ease knowing that this fucking 10 out of 10 masterpiece game is not going to be spoiled for you right now. We don't normally give scored things to games on Pass the Controller. But if I were going to give a score to Sea of Stars, 10 out of 10. I finished the game quickly-ish, and I sat with, like, I took notes while I was playing, but I sat with myself before I really started to write and drum up my thoughts for the review, simply because of two things. One, if this matters to you out there, a full disclosure, I did back the game on Kickstarter. I don't think that impacts my opinion, but some people might think that would. So there's that information, and obviously we were given a code by the developer to review the game early, as most people who review games early do get codes sent to them early. But I wanted to sit with it because I am a big fan of The Messenger. I think The Messenger, which is Sabotage Studio, the folks who made Sea of Stars, their first game, I think that game is also a 10 out of 10. I love that game so much. I've been looking forward to Sea of Stars for such a long time. And I wanted to really think about, my excitement aside. Is this game as good as I think it is? Or am I just excited to play this game finally? It's doing the things I wanted to do. It's great. And it's still doing the things I wanted to do, and I'm excited about it. But I do also think that it stands up with me saying it is this 10 out of 10 masterpiece. For me personally, going forward for the rest of the year, Tears of the Kingdom is my game of the year. I don't think anything's going to touch that game. I love that game so much. That game is going to stay relevant in my brain for a long time. But Sea of Stars is probably with a fucking bullet number 2. I don't see anything else that I've played already this year inching that out for me, even after, the dust settles on Sea of Stars. And I don't really expect much else for me personally that's coming out this year to maybe change that. I mean, I'm excited for a bunch of things. I mean, Mario Wonder looks phenomenal, but as it stands right now for me personally, A Sea of Stars is my number 2 game of the year. It is just the attention to detail and the way that they handle their clear inspirations from things like Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG or countless other old school RPGs. It's the same thing they do with The Messenger. You can see the references. You can understand how certain things were probably inspired by XYZ. But that's not all it is, and I think that's what makes it important. I think the only other, especially indie dev, that does it to this caliber is Yacht Club. I think you can clearly see the inspirations they take, for Shovel Knight from things like Mega Man, etc. But it's not just, here's nostalgia game. It's, we love these things, we appreciate these things, we're paying homage to these things, but we're doing so much more of our own thing with that. It's just that it also looks pixelated like a Super Nintendo game. It also sounds similar. Even though it's not the same, limitations of both graphical fidelity and audio, ability, they make it sound and look like it can be those things. But even that stuff aside, the story itself of Sea of Stars is, the game took me about 30 hours to beat. But then there's some post-game stuff and some other side things, and I, at this point, am close to 100%ing the game. I've beat the game, and I've put it probably another 10 hours after that, doing side stuff and other things. Because I'm just enjoying that much of being in that world and kind of want to, milk it for all it's worth. I want to get all of that enjoyment out of there. And it's funny because I was talking to Mike about certain spoilery things that I won't talk about here, but when I finished the game, in my head I was like, all right, well, I finished the game, I get some time to work on, review stuff and get prepared for those things. I'll probably go back and 100% this game at some point, just like I did with The Messenger, because I don't think I'm trying to remember if I 100% of The Messenger during the review period or if it was after the fact. I think it was after. So I was like, yeah, I'll go back to this game at some point and chop away at some of these other things. But the more I kept thinking about the game, I'm like, I actually want to go back into this game and do things and whatever. And I'm happy I did, because I got a lot more out of it too. But the cast of characters in here, you get to choose off the bat between who you want to control. If you want to be Zale, the solar sword dancer, blade dancer, or if you want to be Valir, the lunar monk. And really the only difference is who do you want to control in the game. The story doesn't change. It doesn't change other things about the game. It's just whoever you want to control. I picked Valir. Valir's great. The first party member you get in the game outside of those two is your best friend growing up, Garl, who is a warrior cook. And all of the party members that you get later in the game, I'm trying to think of what I can talk about. Sarai, the portal assassin, fantastic. Love their story. Love where that character's arc goes. And then future characters who I won't talk about. Great story arcs. Very genuine. You feel for these characters in different ways. The writing is so good in this game that I really just enjoy the inter-party dialogue between the characters. But I really think the heart and soul of this game is between Zale, Valir, and Garl. I mean, it's kind of hard not to be, because again, it's these three characters that grew up together, and then are going on this journey. It's just really, really, really well done. And the character Garl is so to break it down, Zale and Valir have the ability to wield magic and do all these things, and they're obviously very powerful individuals because of that. And Garl is just your friend that doesn't have magic. So Garl finds ways to be useful outside of that. So in combat scenarios, it's he doesn't use magic, so instead he does things with food and all this other stuff that makes sense contextually to the character in that world, but are also just fun and cool. But because he's this character that's friends with these essentially gods, I guess not really gods, but magic wielding characters, he knows his place with them. He understands that he doesn't have those abilities, but it's not something that is a detriment to himself, or he doesn't make that a problem. It's more of I know how I'm useful, and I'll make sure that I can be that for the party. I will be the cook. I will make sure fucking people are fed. I will make sure, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I really like their relationship in Garl's personal story throughout the game. It's just it's a nice character story to have in a game that's very fantasy filled with, evildoers who are extremely powerful, capable of, destroying the world, magic wielding people who can control lunar and solar magic, and then future a portal assassin, someone that can literally cut open portals into the fucking room and transport themselves. And then Garl, who is just fucking Garl. He's just your dude. He's just your guy.
Is it lighthearted, or is it kind of like The Messenger was, or is it more of a serious tone, kind of more?
It's both. I mean, The Messenger has serious stuff in it too, but it is very I would say that The Messenger is probably a lot more tongue in cheek with its dialogue and writing a lot of the time. There's obviously serious stuff going on in The Messenger, but I think there's a lot more comedic elements injected in. And I think all of the characters in the party and outside of the party also have their comedic sides and comedic elements. But I think that a lot of the comedy or lighthearted moments of the game are kind of driven by specific characters. I think Garl plays both sides of that really well. I think Garl is he's good at lightening the mood in the game for the characters, and it feels genuine. And he's good at like stepping up when the time calls for it, and that also feels genuine. And I kind of feel like all the characters feel pretty genuine to what they are trying to be. It's just it's a really good cast of characters. It's a really good world. The first 10 hours or so, the game took me about 30 hours to complete. And then again, I spent some more time after doing other stuff, but you can get through that game probably on a steady pace of like 30 to 30 and change. But the world feels fleshed out. There's a lot going on. I will say if you don't have a history of playing old school RPGs, you don't need to fret too much. I think without having that personal gaming history, you're fine. You're more than fine here. I think if you do have, nostalgia for something like Chrono Trigger or something like Super Mario RPG, there are things in this game that you'll appreciate and be like, oh, okay, like I get what that's doing, or I get where this came from. But I don't think the game relies on those things, so you don't need to have that knowledge. And it's the same thing with the Messenger. Like, the Messenger in this game take place in the same universe. Sea of Stars takes place like 1,000 years in the past, prior to the events of the Messenger. I have talked to plenty of people who also are reviewing this game who haven't played the Messenger, and I mean, me knowing what the references are to the Messenger in the game, I got so much enjoyment out of seeing certain things because I knew what the reference was. But the people that I spoke to and had a long conversation with about that haven't played the Messenger, their opinion on Sea of Stars doesn't seem to be altered in a big way without having those references. Like, there are just moments that mean something different to them than it would to me. But I don't think it's like, I think this game is very strong on its own without having knowledge of either the Messenger or, specific old school turn-based RPGs. So it's real good. Like, I mean, Mike knows without going into detail. I have talked to Mike ad nauseum at least 2 times about certain aspects of this game. Like, what do you think? Do you think I'm being genuine in how I feel about this game, Mike, with how I've talked to you about it off the air?
You guys know that meme of like that guy that's sitting there, he's got like the veins popping out of his head, and he's like, like he's about to explode. That is Brenden about this game, literally, because there's no one to talk to about it. There are people that are either playing the game and he doesn't want to spoil it for them, or people who aren't going to play, like, may play the game in the future. I'm the only person that just doesn't care.
Yeah.
So he's just been talking about this game, and I'm just like, no, oh, okay.
When you said, "Do you know the meme?" I pictured the one where the guy's like whispering to the girl at a concert, and you were the girl.
That's also good.
And you
that's
were the
also
girl.
A good one.
And, yeah.
Yes, that's actually a good one too.
Damn.
I think those both apply.
Yeah.
I think for when I'm not there, it's the one I was describing, and when I'm there, it's the one you're describing.
You're the girl that is completely uninterested in whatever he has to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's necessary because, like, again, there are other people I know that are playing, but I finished the game way sooner than a lot of those people. So it's like, oh man, I know things that are going to happen and we can't talk about it yet. But as people are getting to those points over the last, few days, they've been messaging me like, hey, I got here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just, going crazy. So it's real good. I think that a lot of people are going to find a lot to love about this game. The combat, which I didn't even talk about, fucking phenomenal. If you like active battling, like in a Super Mario RPG style game where it has like timed hits, where it's like you do an attack, and if you time pressing the A button again when you attack, you do bonus damage. And then the same on the flip side, if you time an enemy's attack properly, you can block and save some damage from, and not take as much damage. So that stuff is all great. It's not even just like super simple in regards to like certain enemies, because there's a wide cast of enemies, and there are a lot of really cool enemies and a lot of really great boss fights in this game. But like learning how those enemies move so you can actually block properly is fun. But
did you say it was challenging? Like,
so I will say the game does a really good job.
Is it like Octopath challenging or like not that bad?
So the game does a really good job of like, I think, pacing itself. I think one of the strongest things about this game is the pacing, both on the story side and on like the experience gain level grinding thing. Like, you don't grind in this game, and there are no random encounters. Like,
that's cool.
The enemies that you encounter, for the most part, you'll see on the like in the world with you. So like, you know you're about to walk into a fight because you can see the enemies there. You can walk around them in some scenarios and maybe dodge them and skip a fight, but it feels like to me that the fighting, or I guess the combat scenarios, situations, are all very purposefully planned, where you're not going to be like in an area continuing to try to find enemies to fight to level up more. Like, the game seems to level at a very steady pace of, this is where the game sort of wants you to be strength-wise, and the challenge is built around that. There's a relic system in the game that is optional to use, that you unlock more as you continue to play the game, which will basically give you modifiers to make the game easier or make the game harder, which I think is a great way to like continue to balance it on your own end, where it's like, I personally thought the game was very well paced and balanced, and I never felt like I was too strong. I never felt like I was too weak. It always felt like I was where how strong I needed to be in a place. But that's, your mileage can obviously vary in any game like that. So I think the relic system of being able to be like, yeah, I want to bump this up. Well, here you go. Here are some ways to do that. Or if you think it's too hard or you're having trouble, here are some ways to make it easier. That being said, like, if you're bad at hitting like active inputs in combat, and like you're not good at timing those things, there are relics to help you with timing. I think there might even be one that's just like straight up, you always hit a timed press. But the game doesn't. I don't even think the fights are built around being really good at that aspect either. Plus, the combat has another system on it called like the locks system, which I also think adds just another layer of strategy in to the combat that I've really enjoyed. So essentially, each character or each enemy in a fight will have like a counter over their head of how many moves you can go before they attack. So like, you can attack or do things 3 times, and then that enemy will attack. So you have that counter above their head. But then the locks are additional modifiers above that in little blocks that it's like, okay, this enemy has 4 locks on it, and one of them is blunt damage from like a blunt weapon, one of them's sharp damage from like a sword, and 2 of them are elemental damage based on, whatever characters are in your party. And the goal is to have like your most successful combat scenarios would be to try to break all of those locks before the enemy's move counter gets to 0 and they attack. Because if you break all the locks, it'll either significantly lower how much damage they do to you on that turn, or it will just negate their attack altogether. So it like adds this layer of strategy and like sort of a puzzle of being like, how can you properly choose your like, how can you properly execute your turn to either negate their attack or have them do significantly less damage. And you can still get through fights without doing that, but I think the game would be significantly harder if you ignored the lock system. I really enjoyed the lock system. I was trying to think if another game had something similar. I guess Octopath has like a kind of similar thing where it's like, if you do enough damage to something that they're weak against, like you'll stun them, which is kind of similar to the lock system, but not fully. So the combat's fantastic. The story and writing are what I would hoped to have expected from Sabotage Studio. Like it falls right in that same sort of vein as The Messenger. There's probably a lot more story and dialogue just because you are traveling with groups of people and not just like, a platformer where you're occasionally running into people that speak dialogue sections to you. I don't know. It's really good. Like it's a phenomenal game. I'm gonna be thinking about certain parts of this game for quite a while. And I think that some of the characters in this game, are some of my favorite game characters from the year easily, if not the last few years or so. So it's really good. I would highly recommend checking this out if you have, if you don't want to spend money or can't spend money right now, if you have Game Pass or you have whichever tier PlayStation.
It's coming to PlayStation too.
I was also trying to think of, I don't know if I know of another game that launched simultaneously on Game Pass and the PlayStation thing. Like I feel like that's great for people who have those subscription services but don't have maybe don't have a lot of money to throw around on new games. So
I thought there was one recently that did it too.
That did both. I
thought so.
If it works for the developer, great. That's fantastic that they're able to offer that. But I really do hope that a lot of people check this game out because I really do think it's a star of the year. I think I've obviously gushed about it enough. It's clearly one of my favorites of the year. It's coming out in a very interesting sandwich of there are people who are playing Baldur's Gate 3 from a few weeks ago and loving that game. Starfield is coming out very soon, and we've yet to see what people have to think about that game, but it's coming out.
And Baldur's Gate comes out in console next week too.
Yeah, so it's an interesting sandwich to be in between, but I do think that Sea of Stars is truly something special. It managed to continue to keep me on my toes with combat. It managed to surprise me on many occasions in that story. And it really, I think it delivers a very heartfelt story with its characters. Definitely something to, if you don't get to it now and you like turn-based RPGs, I think it is absolutely one to not miss. So keep that on your radar if that's the case.
It is the first Game Pass PS Plus simultaneous release.
Okay. Yeah, I thought when they announced that, I was like, I'm trying to think if I knew of another game that did that.
It must have been that I was thinking of.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Because it got announced at the end of July that it was coming to both.
Yeah, when it got announced, I was like, oh wow, I don't know of another game that's been like that before. So I can sing the praises of this all you want. All day long. Again, you can find out for yourself very soon if you're listening or watching this. And like I said, I will have a full written review as well that dives a little bit deeper on my thoughts, spoiler free, available as well when this is out. And then, once you finish the game and you want some more, we will have a spoiler cast out for the people that want to dive deeper into the story. It's real good. I've done almost everything in the game, and I still am booting it up every night, trying to check every box and do everything. It's fucking real good.
I was just peeking at the games coming out in the next 3 months, and I'm just it's just going to be a mess, regardless of what I try to do or what we try to do.
There's too many games.
It's just fucking out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully there's a drought after January where we don't get a couple months of games because I'll have plenty of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I already think January is off to a bit. I think Tekken is. I think there's 4 games already announced for January. I think Tekken is one of them. So there's no we're in the golden age of gaming, the flooded age of gaming. I don't know what you want to call it, but there are many games out there. But yeah, I guess that's the podcast review of Sea of Stars. Good game. We don't give scores. This would be a 10 out of 10 for me. This would be a masterpiece, in my opinion. Anyways, that brings us to the end of the show. But of course, go ahead.
No, I still, because you cut off Todd before you started recording, because he was talking about the Flash. I wanted to hear what his thoughts were, and you cut him off before. But we're running out of time, so just
yeah, we can talk about it later if you want. But, no, I just at the beginning I said it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I had so much hype going into this movie, and
Ow.
I shouldn't say the worst movie I've ever seen, but like it's fucking bad. It's like really bad.
How did you have so much hype? Everything coming out of the movie though was a terrible movie.
What do you mean? Wait, but before leading, remember like, and fucking they conned me into this. They got all these like
They got all these
legacy
celebrities
actors coming out.
be like,
All
yeah,
these
it's a great
legacy
movie. This
actors
is
being like Tom Cruise is like, I haven't been this excited to go back to the movies in a while. And like, but like, and you got Michael Keaton in it, and I thought the trailers made it look somewhat like decent, but like, I mean, I know like the big thing was like everyone kept on bringing up CGI and shit like that, but that CGI like. And I'm not even talking about like some of the stuff that people are critiquing. That whole first like 20-minute scene with like the babies and everything, I was like, is this really going on for this long? I was like,
it
what is?
It was excessive.
I was just like,
I thought the movie was fine.
And then like I felt like it wasn't even a Flash movie. A large point of that movie, like, yeah, it was just very weird. And then like I didn't care about the ending by the time I got to the ending. I was like, I don't care anymore. Like I just don't care. Only person I cared about was Michael Keaton, basically, and I kind of liked Supergirl, but she was whatever. I mean, like it was they didn't even need her in there. I feel like.
Well, they needed her. They needed her in there because the bad guy was a Superman bad guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was just it was. I expected some like really cool action scenes, and I don't even think it really had much of that. Minus like one Michael Keaton scene that was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it had that desert fight. That was basically it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had like a little bit of high hopes.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was okay, but they definitely not hedged their bets. They might have. It's weird. They definitely wanted that movie to do gangbusters, despite the fact that ultimately they're not going to be using any of that shit anymore. And it did poorly, and they're not going to use
that movie. That opening scene with that baby, though, the babies threw me off so much. That was like basically when I watched Indiana Jones 4 for the first time and he got in the fridge. It was just like it destroyed the whole rest of the movie for me. I was like I can't get past this. And like there was like a point, like I don't know if you remember, like all the babies are like lined up and
lined up.
He's like,
yeah.
what is happening right now? Like,
he spent time lining the babies up.
I know. It's just Brendan's probably like, what the fuck are they, babies? Like, like my biggest critique.
Listen, I know I'm never going to watch this movie, so I don't really care what
don't bother.
To be honest. No, I was seeing an update if there was something I could say about Sea of Stars on this episode, and I still don't think I will, but
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Oh my god. Yeah, I thought the movie was fine. The CGI really threw me off, and I thought it would be better because I saw an early screening of it.
And that Ben Affleck scene, like the whole beginning scene with Ben Affleck.
Wait, Ben Affleck's in this movie? Bro, what the fuck?
Oh my bad. That whole it was like not a good chase scene. Like I was like, I thought it would like we'd have some good like.
Oh yeah.
The epitome for like
I knew going into it that he wasn't in it very long.
No, I did too. But like that scene in Batman versus Superman, which is another trash movie, when he's in the warehouse saving, what's his name,
Martha,
Superman's mom. That is like one of the coolest action scenes I've ever got from a Batman. The closest thing to Arkham, and like nothing has ever come close to that since then. Even though that's a trash movie.
We should do we need to really like redo our Patreon, which you can join at patreon.com/PassController if you want to help support the show. Because I think we have some interesting things we could do if we hit proper like tiered subscriptions. And I think Todd reviewing the DC universe and making Todd rewatch all the movies, I think is a good one.
Yo,
I tag along for that.
You had those like Snyder cultists ever hear that? They would like review bomb us till like the day we die. That's how bad those people. They're insane. They're literally insane.
They would have to spend money to listen to you do that. So if that's what they want to do, cool.
Unless somebody leaks the Patreon.
I don't think anyone.
They'll just review bomb regular. They'll just review bomb regular podcast stuff just to get at us.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, Todd is actually Todd is like the lead cultist. He's a lead Snyder cultist. He's fucking getting ready for Rebel Moon. He's like, oh boy, this is gonna be peak cinema, guys. I love Sucker Punch.
Anyways, well, that's Todd's review of the Flash movie. Before we get into the game, as we always do with the ends of these episodes, a couple of quick things you can do to support us. Of course, easiest and freest way to do that, follow us on social media, share us on social media, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. Leave us a review. It's very, very beneficial. We appreciate if you took the time to do that. Of course, if you have a few bucks kicking around, you can go to our Patreon. As I mentioned, you can go to twitch.tv/passcontroller and become a sub there. Or you can buy something from our shop at passcontroller.threadless.com. Without further ado, the scoreboard for the year. I opened the wrong thing on my phone. Dom has pulled ahead because Todd was not here last week.
Shit.
Dom is sitting at 36. Todd is at 35. Mike is at 26. We are bringing back everyone's favorite, Answer Unlocked. If this is your first time watching or listening to the show, the way Answer Unlocked works is I will read the description and title of these achievements/trophies. The first person that gets the game right gets the point. Game number 1. Supernova. Complete the blank blank on Supernova difficulty. Best friend. Recruit a companion. The harder they fall. Kill a mega creature.
Is it Fallout 4?
No.
Fallout 3?
No.
Fallout 76.
No. Got your back. Kill 50 enemies with companion abilities. Silver Tongue.
I was convinced that was Fallout.
Use dialogue skills 30 times in a conversation.
Fallout New Vegas?
Incorrect. Glad I didn't pick a Fallout game.
Yeah, right.
Because I almost did tonight. Poor sportsmanship. Hit 30 enemies in the groin during tactical time dilation. Upgrades available. Improve your gear 30 times through tinkering and mods.
Some of these you said already sound so fucking familiar, too.
Never seen. Kill 50 enemies with sneak attacks. Short circuit. Kill 30 auto mechanicals with shock damage. Health insurance. Use the medical inhaler 300 times.
My God.
We all fall down. Turn 100 enemies to ash with plasma damage. Toss ball all-star. Kill 50 enemies with a toss ball stick or a toss ball blocker.
It's not Bioshock Infinite, right?
Incorrect. Everything must go. Sell 10,000 bits worth of items to vendors.
The Bioshock 2?
Incorrect. Everybody likes me. Have 75.
Bioshock?
Incorrect. Have 75%
There's no,
or
like,
higher
partners.
positive reputation with 3 factions. Destroyer of Worlds. Have 75% or higher negative reputation with 3 factions.
Is it
Flawed,
Infamous?
incorrect. Flawed hero. Acquire 3 flaws.
Is it Infamous 2?
Incorrect. Not
Oh,
the best
that was
choice.
Is it Infamous Second Son?
No. Simultaneously equip Spacer's Choice brand clothing, headgear, and 4 weapons.
Is it Outer Wilds?
No.
So many of those sound so familiar, and it's nothing's.
Well dressed. Wear a nice hat and chimera at the same time.
It's weird because I'm trying to think of games where you use an inhaler. And Cyberpunk 2077 is one of those games, but
not
we just
Cyberpunk.
did Cyberpunk. I know, it's like it wouldn't be
Reach level 30. Reach character level 30. Anything for a friend. Finish a companion's quest line.
the Skyrim.
Incorrect. Elemental Maelstrom. Kill an enemy that was hit with 5 damage types.
Is it Oblivion? Elder Scrolls?
Incorrect.
Is it Final Fantasy 16?
Incorrect.
Is
it
it
Final
Elder
Fantasy
Scrolls?
15?
It's not
Is
a
it
Final.
Morrowind?
It's not a Final Fantasy game. It's not Morrowind.
Oh, is it Pokemon Blue?
Mike got it. It's Pokemon Blue.
Man,
Patient
I feel like we
N.
guessed.
Kill 20 enemies that are infected by spreading N rays. Skilled. Raise a skill to 100. Jack of all trades. Kill an enemy with a science weapon sneak attack during TTD with a weak spot critical hit.
Half-Life 2?
No. Well-balanced breakfast. Simultaneously have bonuses for meat, carbohydrates, sugary drink, caffeine, and alcohol.
What is this not?
Is it?
How is it not Fallout? That's what I'm confused by. I'm like...
Mad scientist. Kill an enemy under the effects of 4 science weapons. Impossible mission. Succeed at 3 dialogue conversation checks with a single disguise.
Is it Kill All Humans?
Nope. All for one. Complete all companion quests. One for all. Recruit all of the companions. Welcome to Halcyon. Land in Emerald Vale.
How mad am I going to be when none of us get this? Am I going to be pretty mad?
Halcyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I know like so many of these things that I'm
Tickets
fucking...
to anywhere. Get your own ship.
Is it?
It's
not Starfield, right?
No, it's not Starfield.
Okay.
Imagine.
I wasn't sure if the achievements were.
But I will say that you are all dancing around the game.
Sure.
Something's fishy. Reach Stellar Bay.
Is it
Mass Effect 3?
It's not a Mass Effect game.
We were both.
Yeah.
Paradise Found. Land in Byzantium.
Oh wait, is it No Man's Sky?
Incorrect.
I just said that, so if you got that,
did you?
if you gave me that, I would have
Hard Time. Land on Tartarus. No, Mike, it's not.
Listen, you already said one for all and all for one. Like, I already ruled out a bunch of weird shit.
Lost and Found. Skip the Hope. Pirate Radio. Stop the Monarch broadcasts.
Oh, man.
The audience gasps. Learn the shocking truth about the colony.
Is it Isolation?
No. I'm going to skip a few of these.
No, it's definitely not. It's not Prey, right?
No. Dentastic. Save the universe's greatest diet toothpaste recipe.
It's High on Life.
Incorrect. Mightier than
I actually was thinking that for a few seconds.
Mightier than the sword. Save Edgewater permanently. Ludwig was right. Bring robo-destruction to Edgewater. I'm just straight up saying proper nouns.
Edgewater, dude. I know. It's
A Star is Born. Star in an Odeon Pictures movie.
Fuck, Odeon Pictures sounds familiar too.
Everything he said so far.
Cartographer. Deal with the cartographer. Sunburn. Skip the hope into the sun. I can do the DLC achievement trophies, but I don't think that's going to help anybody.
Have we all played this game?
Maybe out of the 4 of us, maybe 2 of us have played it. I have played it and not finished it. I mean, you have mentioned other things that this developer has made.
What am I missing though?
So there could potentially be a technicality, and I didn't call it out because I didn't know if that's what you meant or not. When you guessed a specific game earlier, did you mean to guess a different game?
Who are you talking to?
I'm not going to say who. Then maybe that's not what happened. Okay, I won't say anything else.
Wait. So when one of
I
us
meant to say Pokemon Blue. That is a 100% fact.
Okay, well, it's not Pokemon Blue. I think this is going to be a no point. But Todd, when you guessed The Outer Wilds, is that what you meant to guess?
And not the other one.
What's the other one?
The Outer Worlds, which is the correct answer.
Oh, yes. That's what I meant to guess.
Okay.
Yes.
So I looked at the camera and fucking Jim-faced, and I was like, no, not the answer.
Oh, damn it. Yeah,
hoping
that's
that if that's what you meant to do, you were going to fix yourself.
Yeah, because no, I assumed that was the right name of the game. Outer Wilds is the fucking indie one that I love, but
yes.
So
when you said Outer Wilds, I just all right, it's not that game.
Yeah, same.
I had a feeling that's kind of what happened, and I'm like, they're right there. They're naming every fucking Fallout game. They're naming Sky. They're just not going to get there.
Because that was New Vegas developer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So unless you guys want to give it to Todd, I think that's a no point.
No, let's just leave it. Yeah, no point.
Okay. Game number 2. Crappin' Forte. Use every available toilet in blank blank and achieve the highest mastery level for each. Boy Love Aficionado. Find
it's South Park Stick of Truth.
Fractured Butthole.
Mike gets the point. It's Fractured Butthole.
God damn it. I knew it was that one too. God damn it.
Mike gets the point. That's a
because you don't do toilets in the first one, I don't think, right? It's only the second.
Quick zinger right there, Mike.
I wasn't. I figured it was South Park, and I forgot about Stick of Truth. But when you said Boy Love, I'm like, oh, the Boy Love stuff was definitely in the second game.
In my mind, I was thinking the second game, but I still said the Stick of Truth.
Game number 2. Sorry, 3. Larger World. Get your first blank blank points. Starting down the blank blank. Get your first blank blank points. Dancing Queen. Dance for Voga. Training Wheels. Complete the prologue. In It for the Money. Collect 10,000 credits. I didn't do it. Let the blank destroy the blank asteroids. We have to hack into the mainframe. Have 30 points in computer use. And blank weapon. Construct your first blank. I've seen how you use a blank. Have 30 points in repair. It was like that when I got here. Destroy blank asteroids.
Is it asteroids?
Incorrect. Pet rock. Get the named blank crystal. A certain set of skills. Gain a prestige class. Unadulterated violence. Repair the damaged blank on the blank blank. Fight another day. Flee blank after fighting blank. It's a trap. Get this by starting the trapped quest on blank. Grave robber. Loot a body on blank. Last stand. Side with the settlers on blank. Lost girl. Recruit blank. Don't get cocky. Kill all blank troopers before they can board the blank blank. The gang's all here. Fill the party selection screen. Talk them to death. Have persuasion over 30. Luminous beings. Reach maximum blank blank points. The second rule. Complete the blank battle circle. Hunger strike. Defeat blank. Royal protocol. Side with the queen on blank. Pain relief. Defeat blank. Seeker. Complete the game on the blank side.
Squadrons.
Incorrect. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Have 30 points in treat injury. Your eyes can deceive you. Learn.
Otor.
It is indeed Knights of the Old Republic. Dom gets the point. Were you sitting on Star Wars for a while? I feel like
there was a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah,
I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide if it was actually a Star Wars game for a while, and then I was trying to decide if there's more. I was waiting for more clues that it was Knights of the Old Republic.
Gotcha. I guess we'll do one more since there was a stump. I guess I'll add the stump to the fake stump to the scoreboard. Final game. Game number 4. Enter the blank. Complete the blank village's intro. Dungeon brawler. Defeat the necromancer. Deposit at the riverbank. Jump down the big waterfall in blank blank. My bad. Defeat the emerald blank. I quill survive. Defeat the queen of quills. Leg day. Defeat blank and blank. Glacial peaked. Get to the top of the mountain. Did the thing. Defeat the blank blank. Sweet 16. Time to travel to the future.
Is it Ratchet and Clank?
Incorrect. Was that a dragon? Defeat the sky serpent.
Is it the messenger?
Mike going 2 for 4 tonight. It is the messenger. That puts us Dom at 37, gaining some more ground. Todd at a bagel this week, keeping himself at 35. And Mike, late back half of the year, back half, strong half for Mike, popping up with a couple of points at 28. And that'll do it for this week's episode 383. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for listening. Leave us a 5-star review. Follow us on social media. Go play Sea of Stars. And we'll see you next time.